1. Success leaves clues. Look, here's what most people miss. They think success is this big secret, this hidden formula that only a select few have access to. But that's nonsense. Success isn't hiding from you. It's been leaving footprints everywhere you look for thousands of years. The successful people? They're not doing anything magical. They're simply following patterns that have worked since the beginning of time. Think about it. Every person who's ever built something significant, whether it's wealth, health, relationships, or personal achievement, has left behind a trail. They've written books. They've given speeches. They've shared their philosophies. The blueprint is right there in plain sight. But most people walk right past it, looking for some shortcut, some new trick, some overnight miracle. The truth is simpler than you think. Successful people read every day. They've been doing it for centuries. They surround themselves with quality people. They set goals. They work when others rest. They invest in themselves first. They're disciplined with their time and money. These aren't new concepts. They're ancient wisdom that still works today because human nature hasn't changed. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here. You don't need to figure everything out from scratch. That's the amateur's approach, and it'll cost you decades. The professional looks at who's already where they want to be and says, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What habits do they have that I don't have? What books are on their shelf? How do they spend their mornings? Here's the beautiful part. When you start following these proven patterns, you stop gambling with your life. You're no longer hoping things work out. You're implementing systems that have been tested across generations, across cultures, across every industry imaginable. The wealthy have been doing it. The healthy have been doing it. The wise have been doing it. So stop looking for complexity. Stop waiting for some revolutionary new idea. The habit that changes everything is this. Study success, find the patterns, and duplicate them in your own life. Model excellence. Follow the clues. The treasure map has been drawn 1,000,000 times over. You just need to be willing to follow it. Success isn't mysterious. It's methodical. And the method is already proven. Your job? Just start walking the path that's already been cleared for you. You become the average of what you consume. Let me ask you something. If you owned a racehorse worth $1,000,000, would you feed it junk food? Would you let it stay up all night? Would you let it hang around sick horses? Of course not. You give it the finest nutrition, the best training, the healthiest environment possible. You protect that investment with everything you had. Now here's the real question. Why don't you do the same for your mind? Your mind is consuming something every single moment of every single day, and whatever you're feeding it is either building you up or tearing you down. There's no neutral ground here. Every book you read or don't read, every conversation you have, every show you watch, every song you listen to, it's all programming your subconscious, shaping your beliefs, and ultimately determining your future. Think about your daily mental diet. What are you putting in? Are you spending hours scrolling through negativity and gossip? Are you surrounding yourself with complainers and dream killers? Are you filling your mind with trash television and empty entertainment? Because if you are, don't be surprised when your life reflects that diet. You can't consume poison and expect to feel healthy. The successful people, they're incredibly selective about what enters their minds. They read books that challenge them. They listen to ideas that expand them. They have conversations that inspire them. They're not being snobbish. They're being strategic. They understand that their mind is their most valuable asset, and they guard it like Fort Knox. Here's what happens when you change your mental diet. You start thinking differently. New ideas emerge. Better questions form. Your standards rise. Your tolerance for mediocrity drops. You begin to see opportunities you never noticed before because your mind has been trained to recognize them. Feed your mind like you'd feed a champion, because that's exactly what you're trying to become. Start your day with something that elevates you. 15 minutes of reading from someone wiser than you. End your day by reflecting on lessons learned instead of numbing out with mindless content. Your future isn't being built by some big decision you'll make someday. It's being built right now, today, with every single thing you allow into your consciousness. The question isn't whether you're being influenced. The question is, who and what have you given permission to influence you? Choose wisely. Your life depends on it. The fortune is in the follow-through. You know what the world has plenty of? Ideas. Brilliant, beautiful, life-changing ideas. Walk into any coffee shop and you'll hear them. Log onto the internet and they're everywhere. Ideas are the easy part. Ideas are cheap. What's rare, what's valuable, what separates the winners from the wishers? That's follow-through. I'll tell you something that might sting a little. Your great idea means absolutely nothing until you do something with it. Zero. And that thing you're going to do someday? Someday isn't a day of the week. Someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. The fortune, the real treasure in life, isn't in the planning stage. It's not in the dreaming stage. It's in the doing stage. It's in showing up on Tuesday when you're tired. It's in showing up on Thursday when you're discouraged. It's in showing up on Saturday when your friends are at the beach and you're working on your craft. That's where the magic lives. In the boring, unglamorous, consistent action that nobody sees. Here's what happens to most people. They get excited about a goal. Maybe it's starting a business, getting in shape, learning a new skill. The first day, they're on fire. First week, still going strong. But then comes day 15, day 20, day 30, and the excitement fades. The motivation runs dry. And that's exactly when the amateurs quit and the professionals keep going. See, professionals don't rely on feeling motivated. They rely on discipline. They rely on commitment. They've made a promise to themselves, and they keep it whether they feel like it or not. They understand that success is built in those moments when you absolutely don't want to do the work, but you do it anyway. Think about it like compound interest. One day of action doesn't seem like much. 1 week doesn't seem like much. But string together 6 months of consistent daily action? A year? 5 years? That's when you look back and realize you've built something extraordinary. That's when people call you an overnight success, after a decade of showing up every single day. The habit that changes everything isn't having good ideas. It's executing on them relentlessly. It's finishing what you start. It's doing the work when nobody's watching, when nobody's cheering, when there's no immediate reward in sight. Follow through. That's where your fortune is hiding. Not in tomorrow's plan, but in today's action. 4. Winter is coming. Prepare in the fall. Life doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in seasons. And just like nature, your life will have springs of new beginnings, summers of abundance, falls of transition, and winters of challenge. That's not pessimism, that's reality. And the people who thrive understand one critical truth. You don't prepare for winter during winter. You prepare for winter during fall, when the sun is still shining and things are still good. Here's where most people get it wrong. They wait until the crisis hits before they start building their discipline. They wait until they're broke before they learn about money. They wait until they're sick before they start caring about health. They wait until the relationship is falling apart before they work on communication. That's backwards. That's like waiting until your house is on fire before you buy fire insurance. The successful people, they're preparing when they don't have to. When business is good, they're saving for the lean times. When their body feels great, they're exercising to stay strong. When relationships are smooth, they're investing in them to make them stronger. They know that winter is inevitable, and they're getting ready while they still have the energy and resources to do so. Think about the ant. Nobody has to tell the ant to prepare for winter. The ant doesn't wait until the first frost to start storing food. No, the ant works all summer long, gathering and storing, preparing for what's coming. The ant isn't being paranoid, it's being prudent. It understands the seasons. Now look at the grasshopper. The grasshopper plays all summer. Why worry? The grasshopper says. Life is good. The sun is shining. There's plenty to eat. And then winter comes and the grasshopper has nothing. The grasshopper didn't fail during winter. It failed during summer by not preparing. Here's what preparation looks like. Saving money when you're earning it, not just spending every dollar. Learning new skills before your current skills become obsolete. Building your network before you need it. Creating multiple income streams before you need them. Strengthening your character during good times so it holds up during bad times. Don't wait for crisis to create your discipline. Crisis doesn't create character. It reveals it. What you do today, in these good moments, is building the foundation that will either support you or crumble beneath you when the storms come. And trust me, the storms are coming. They come for everyone. The only question is, will you be ready? Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Here's a concept that will transform your entire financial future if you really get it. Your job pays you based on who you are today. But if you work harder on yourself than you do on your job, you'll become someone worth more tomorrow. And when you're worth more, you'll earn more. It's that simple. Most people have it backwards. They work 8, 10, 12 hours a day making someone else rich, building someone else's dream, and then they go home exhausted with nothing left to invest in themselves. They'll spend 40 years working hard on the job, but never working on becoming more valuable. And then they wonder why their income stays flat while their bills keep rising. Listen carefully. If you're worth $10 an hour, that's what you'll get. If you're worth $100 an hour, that's what you'll get. The marketplace doesn't care about your bills. It doesn't care about your needs. It pays you exactly what you're worth based on the value you bring. So if you want to earn more, stop asking for more and start becoming more. What does this look like practically? It means reading for an hour every day to expand your knowledge. It means taking courses, attending seminars, learning new skills, even when you're tired. It means studying your craft like your life depends on it, because honestly, it does. It means investing in yourself first before you invest in anything else. See, your job might pay you $50,000 a year right now, but that's because of who you were when you started. If you spend the next 5 years developing yourself, learning leadership, mastering communication, becoming an expert in your field, building your character, you won't be the same person. You'll be worth more. And when you're worth more, either your current employer will pay you more, or another employer will. The paycheck is the effect, not the cause. Most people are chasing the effect. They want more money, but they're not willing to become the kind of person who deserves more money. They want the reward without the development. It doesn't work that way. Your income will rarely exceed your personal development. That's just how it is. So if you want to change your income, change yourself. Work harder on you than you do on anything else. The job is temporary. The skills, the knowledge, the character you develop, that's permanent. That's the real wealth. Build that, and the money will follow. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Let me tell you about 2 kinds of pain. You're going to experience one of them. That's not optional. The only choice you have is which one. There's the pain of discipline. That's the pain of getting up early when your bed is warm. That's the pain of saying no to dessert when everyone else is indulging. That's the pain of saving money when you want to spend it. That's the pain of practicing your craft when you'd rather watch television. It's uncalm, affordable. It's inconvenient. But here's the thing about disciplinary pain. It weighs ounces. It's light. It's manageable. And most importantly, it goes away quickly and leaves something beautiful behind. Then there's the pain of regret. That's the pain of looking back at 50 years old and realizing you never tried. That's the pain of watching someone else live your dream because they had the discipline you didn't have. That's the pain of knowing you had the talent, the opportunity, the time, and you wasted it. That pain? It weighs tons. It crushes you. It keeps you up at night. And it doesn't go away. It grows heavier with each passing year. Every single day, you're standing at a crossroads. One path has the discomfort of discipline. The other path has the agony of regret. And here's what's tricky. The discipline path looks harder at first glance. It requires immediate sacrifice, immediate discomfort. The regret path? It looks easy today. It's smooth, it's comfortable. There's no pain right now, but you've got to think long-term. That easy path? It's leading you straight toward a tonnage of regret that will bury you alive. The hard path? It's leading you toward the life you actually want, and the temporary discomfort dissolves into pride, accomplishment, and peace. Think about the choice you're making right now in your life. Whatever goal you have, whatever dream you're sitting on, you know what you should be doing. You know the disciplined action required. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's hard. But compare that ounce of discomfort today to the ton of regret you'll carry for decades if you don't do it. The discipline will hurt for a moment. The regret will hurt for a lifetime. You don't get to avoid pain. You only get to choose which pain you'll carry. Choose the ounces over the tons. Choose discipline over regret. Choose the discomfort that builds over the comfort that destroys. Your future self is watching. Choose wisely. 7. Set goals that pull you forward. Here's the difference between people who achieve extraordinary things and people who just drift through life. The achievers have goals that excite them so much, they don't need an alarm clock. They're pulled out of bed by the vision of what they're building. They're not pushing themselves through the day, they're being pulled towards something magnetic. Most people set goals all wrong. They set goals that feel like obligations. I should lose weight. I ought to make more money. I need to be more productive. Those aren't goals. Those are chores. And you know what happens with chores? You avoid them. You procrastinate. You do the bare minimum. But when you set a goal that truly captures your imagination, when you paint a picture so compelling that you can taste it, feel it, see it in vivid detail, everything changes. Suddenly, discipline isn't this heavy burden you're carrying. Discipline becomes the vehicle that's taking you somewhere you desperately want to go. Think about it. If I told you that you had to wake up at 5 in the morning tomorrow just because, you'd hate it. But if I told you that waking up at 5 means you're one day closer to financial freedom, to building the business you've dreamed about, to creating the life where you call the shots. Now we're talking about something different. Now that alarm clock becomes your friend, not your enemy. Goals give discipline a purpose. Without a compelling goal, discipline is just suffering. But with the right goal, discipline becomes the path to everything you want. It becomes meaningful. Every sacrifice makes sense because you know exactly what you're sacrificing for. Here's what you need to do. Stop setting wimpy goals. Stop setting goals that don't make your heart race a little. Stop setting goals based on what you think you should want or what others expect from you. Set goals that are yours. Goals so exciting that when you think about them, you get energized instead of exhausted. A real goal pulls you forward. It wakes you up early. It keeps you up late. It makes you willing to do things today that others won't do, so you can live tomorrow in ways others can't live. A real goal doesn't need constant motivation because the vision itself is motivating. Ask yourself, what would get you out of bed excited? What future are you willing to work for? What vision makes all the sacrifice worthwhile? Find that goal. Set it. Write it down. Look at it every day. Let it pull you forward into the life you were meant to live. Associate with eagles if you want to fly. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. That's not a cute saying. That's a law as reliable as gravity. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Their standards become your standards. Their habits become your habits. Their income level, their health level, their thinking level, it all rubs off on you whether you realize it or not. Now here's the hard truth. If you want to soar with eagles, you can't keep scratching with turkeys. You've got to make a decision about who you're going to surround yourself with, and sometimes that means leaving people behind. I know that sounds harsh, but your association determines your destination more than almost anything else. Think about it. If you spend your time with people who complain, you'll become a complainer. If you spend your time with people who blame circumstances for their failures, you'll start blaming too. If you hang around broke people who have no ambition, who spend every dollar they make, who think working on yourself is a waste of time, what do you think is going to happen to your own ambitions? They're going to shrink. But here's the beautiful flip side. Proximity is power. When you get yourself around people who are more successful than you, smarter than you, more disciplined than you, something magical happens. Their excellence becomes normal to you. What seemed impossible starts looking possible. Their standards lift your standards. Their work ethic challenges your work ethic. You start thinking, if they can do it, maybe I can too. You start asking better questions. You start seeing opportunities you never noticed before because now you're looking through upgraded lenses. You start demanding more from yourself because mediocrity becomes uncomfortable when you're surrounded by excellence. Now, I'm not saying you abandon everyone and become some snob. What I'm saying is you need to be intentional. You need to actively seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you, who make you better just by being around them. Read books by people you admire. That's association. Listen to mentors through podcasts and seminars. That's association. Join groups where successful people gather. Put yourself in rooms where you're the least accomplished person there. Yes, it's uncomfortable at first. Yes, you might feel out of place. Good. That discomfort is growth trying to happen. That's your old self dying and your new self being born. Don't let your loyalty to people who aren't going anywhere keep you from going somewhere. Choose your associations like your life depends on it, because it does. Keep a journal of lessons learned. Here's something most people never figure out. Experience alone doesn't make you wise. You can live the same year 50 times and call it 50 years of experience, but that's not wisdom. That's just repetition. What turns experience into wisdom is reflection. And the best way to reflect is to write it down. Keep a journal, not a diary where you complain about your day. A journal of lessons learned. What worked today? What didn't work? What would you do differently? What did you learn about yourself, about others, about life? Capture it. Document it. Because if you don't write it down, you'll forget it. And if you forget it, you'll have to learn it again. Think about how expensive your mistakes are. Every failure costs you something. Time, money, opportunity, emotional energy. Now imagine making that same mistake twice, 3 times, 5 times. That's not just expensive, that's bankruptcy waiting to happen. But when you write down the lesson, when you capture what went wrong and why, you're creating insurance against repeating that mistake. Your journal becomes your personal textbook. It's customized for your life, your challenges, your industry, your goals. No book in any store is more valuable to you than the book you're writing about your own journey. Years from now, you'll look back at those pages and see patterns you couldn't see while you were living through them. You'll see how far you've come. You'll see mistakes you stopped making. You'll see growth you didn't even realize was happening. But here's what else happens with journaling. It forces you to think. Most people go through life on autopilot. They react instead of respond. They repeat patterns without understanding them. But when you know you're going to write about your day, you start paying attention differently. You become more intentional. You start asking yourself, what's the lesson here? What am I supposed to learn from this? 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each day. That's all it takes. Write down what happened, what you learned, what you'll do better tomorrow. Don't worry about perfect grammar or beautiful prose. Just capture the wisdom before it slips away. Life is expensive. Every lesson costs you something. But you know what's even more expensive? And paying for the same lesson over and over because you didn't bother to write it down the first time? Document your journey. Learn from your experiences. Turn your life into a curriculum that actually makes you wiser, not just older. Plant seeds. Today for harvests. Tomorrow. Let me tell you something about success that nobody wants to hear. It's boring. The actions that create extraordinary results are so simple, so mundane, so unglamorous that most people dismiss them. They're looking for the big breakthrough, the grand gesture, the dramatic moment that changes everything. Meanwhile, they walk right past the small daily disciplines that actually build empires. Think about a farmer. When a farmer plants a seed, does anything exciting happen? No. He digs a hole, drops a seed in, covers it up, and walks away. Nothing to see. Nothing impressive. If you watched him do it, you'd think, that's it? That's the big secret to abundance? But that farmer understands something most people don't. You don't harvest on planting day. You harvest months later, after consistent daily attention to what you've planted. Every single day, you're either planting seeds for future harvests, or you're consuming the seeds that should have been planted. Most people are consumers. They eat their seed corn. They spend everything they make. They use all their time on things that don't compound. And then they wonder why their field is empty when harvest time comes. But the successful people? They're planters. They plant a little bit every day. They read 10 pages. That's a seed. They save $10. That's a seed. They make 1 extra sales call. That's a seed. They exercise for 20 minutes. That's a seed. None of these actions are exciting. None of them feel like they matter. but compound them over time, and you've got a harvest that looks like a miracle to everyone else. Here's the truth about compound interest. And I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about everything in life. Small disciplines repeated with consistency don't just add up, they multiply. One good decision today seems insignificant, but one good decision every day for a year, for 5 years, for 20 years, that's the difference between poverty and wealth, sickness and health, mediocrity and mastery. The problem is, most people quit before the compounding kicks in. They plant for a week, maybe a month, and when they don't see immediate results, they stop. They don't understand that the magic happens in the invisible time between planting and harvesting. That's where patience meets persistence. That's where ordinary becomes extraordinary. You can't cram for the harvest. You can't make up for lost time. You can't plant in the morning and reap in the afternoon. But if you're willing to do the boring, simple, unsexy work every single day, plant those seeds, water that ground, pull those weeds, the harvest will come. And when it does, everyone will call it an overnight success.